Hi children, come we will see the chapter 11, light, shadows and reflections. Okay, light, shadows and reflections. We see so many objects around us. On the way to school, we see things like buses, cars, cycles, trees, animals and sometimes flowers. How do you think we see objects? Think of the same places at night time if it were completely dark. What will you see? See, for example, you are coming to school from your home. No, on the way you can see so many things like bus, the trees, the flowers in the trees. Okay, that means what? So many animals, cat, dog, cows, so many things you can see while in the morning when you are coming to your school and going back to home. See, think that you are going to your school if in night time, suppose like in the same road for some other purpose you are going in the same road to your school road. Can you see the flowers in the trees? Can you see the animals, dog and what? Without if it is what? The current is not there, the power is not there. Think that the power is not there that time. Okay, it's everything is dark. Can you see the things? Can you see the animals on the road? Can you see the vehicles on the road? No children. Is it easy? No. Why? See, what will you see? Suppose if you go inside a completely dark room, are you able to see any objects in the room? Can you take, if you want to take something from that room, if it is, there is no power, there is no current, see if that means what? You are taking without any help of light. Okay, so is it easy for you to take that object? No. But when you light a candle or a torch, or if you switch on the lights, you can see the objects present in the room, isn't it? Without light, things cannot be seen. So what we know? Without lights, things cannot be seen. Light helps us see objects. Light helps us to see objects. The torch bulb is an object that gives out light of its own. Okay, the torch bulb is an object that gives out light of its own. The sun is another familiar object that gives its own light. Okay, understood? So if you take a torch bulb, okay, if you put batteries in it, it will give light. Okay, the sun is also that we know we get light from it. We get light and heat from the sun. During the day, its light allow us to see objects. Objects like the sun that give out or emit light of their own are called luminous objects. Okay, so objects like sun, star, okay, are called luminous objects that emits lights on their own. They have its own light. Okay, understood children? Okay, so the sun, the star. Okay, so these are all the what are luminous objects, what we can call it as luminous objects. See the sun, the star and the firefly is an insect, firefly that you may see at night, it will emit light. So due to some chemical reaction in its body, okay, the light will what? It will emit light. So these are all the luminous bodies which has its lights on its own. Okay, the sun, stars, fireflies and glowworms, okay, or which are all having their light of their own. Okay, see what objects like a chair, a painting or a shoe. See what about objects like a chair, a painting or a shoe? We see these when light from a luminous object falls on this and then travels to our side. We can see these objects when the light from the luminous objects falls on it. So that we can see a chair, we can see a table. You see if it is a daytime, what happens? The light from the sun falls on that objects, so that we can able to see that object. Okay, understood children? So that light from the luminous objects falls on the object, so that we can see the object. See this water, the moon and planets do not have the light on their own. Okay, these are all called the non-luminous bodies. Okay, understood, children? Which see, even the moon, we know, we can see, we will get light from the moon. Why? But the moon is not having light of its own. The moonlight, what we see is the reflection of the sunlight that falls on it. Okay, that is nothing but the reflection of the sunlight that falls on it. So the moon, the planets like that, which does not have its lights on its own, are called non-luminous objects. Understood, children? So we can see any object by why? What? We can see any object due to the light. Okay. So we can see any object when light from the luminous object fall on it and then travels towards our eye. Okay. Understood, children? Come, we will see the next topic: transparent, opaque and translucent objects. See, come, we will see about that. So in our previous chapters we saw about these things, no, the materials, what the properties of materials. In that we saw this transparent, opaque and translucent, no? Yes. If we cannot see through an object at all, it is an opaque object, that we know, opaque object. We cannot able to see anything through that object is called an opaque object. That we saw in our previous chapters, no? The wood and all. Okay, wood. Through wood, wooden panel, we cannot able to see the things on the other side. If you are able to see clearly through an object, it is allowing light to pass through it and is transparent. Okay, the object through which we can see the things on the other side is called transparent objects. Why? Because that object allows the light to pass through it. Okay, and the opaque object does not allow the light to pass through it. And there are some objects through which we can see but not very clearly. Such objects are called translucent object. Okay, some object, suppose you take a tissue paper or a paper, if you put some oil on a white sheet and if you see through it, you can't able to see the thing clearly what is there on the other side, but you can see, can get some idea about that, what is the thing. Okay, but you can't able to see. That type of objects are called translucent. These objects allow the lights partially, it won't allow fully. Okay, understood, children? Come to next page, children. Now one by one hold each of the opaque objects. Okay, if you take a piece of wood and objects, okay, hold it in the sunlight. Okay, hold it in the sunlight slightly above the ground. Okay, what do you see on the ground? You know that the dark patch formed by each on the ground is due to its shadow. You can see the shadow. Okay, look here, if you hold anything, okay, in the path of the sunlight, you can see the shadow on the ground. Okay, understood? Sometimes you can see your shadow on that falls on the ground. So when an object obstructs the path of a light, a shadow of the object is formed. If you are keeping an object in the path of light, okay, suppose if you take a torch and you show it, okay, see yes, okay, if you keep any object on there and take it in a dark room, you take a torch and keep an object in between, okay, in front of the torch, what will happen? The shadow will form on the opposite of the wall, on the wall of the room, no? Yes, okay. So the shadow is formed when an object obstructs the path of the light. Okay, when an object comes in the path of the light, what will happen? The shadow will appear. Okay, understood, children? And shadow will be little larger in size compared to the object. It will It will be larger than the size of the object. Okay, and it will fall on the opposite side of the source of the light. Okay, if torch is the source of light, the shadow will form on the other side. Okay, understood? So to form a shadow in water, it seems we need a source of light and an opaque object to see a shadow. So for a shadow to form, what it needs? A source of light and a opaque object on which the shadow is fall. Okay, understood, children? So this is due to that light travels in straight line. Okay, it travels in a straight line. So, if some objects comes in the path of sun light, what will happen? The rays will it won't enter through the opaque object, no. So, what will happen? So, it will make a dark space, okay, dark space which is nothing but the dark picture, okay, on the opposite, on the opaque object which is on the other side of the object, okay. Understood, children? That is nothing but the shadow. So, for the shadow to form, a source of light and an opaque object is needed, okay. So, come we will see one activity. This is an activity that you will have to do in the dark, okay. In the evening, go out in an open ground with a few friends, okay. Take a torch and a large sheet of cardboard with you. Hold the torch close to the ground and shine it upward so that its light falls on your friend's face. You now have a source of light that is falling on an opaque object. If there were no trees, building or any other object behind your friend, would you see the shadow of your friend? Friend said no. Okay, we need a this does not mean that there is no shadow, okay. There is shadow, but we can't able to see. After all, the light from the torch is not able to pass through his body to the other side. Now, ask another friend to hold the cardboard sheet behind your friend. Is the shadow now seen on the cardboard sheet? Yes. Thus, the shadow can be seen only on a screen. Okay, we can see the shadow only on the screen. That means it need a opaque object. Okay, even the shadow of an opaque object will fall on one more opaque object. Thus, the shadow can be seen only on a screen. The ground, the walls of a room, a building or other such surfaces act as a screen for the shadows you observe in daily life. Okay. So, you need a wall or a surface of ground or a building, okay, on which the shadow will form. Understood, children? See, like this, you may play in the dark room, okay, you may play this type of games. You make shadows using your hands and fingers, no, like this. See here, this is a very fun activity. You do it, okay, try it, okay, children, at your home, okay. So, there is even the shadow won't represents the colors of the objects, okay, and also it will be big in size compared to the object. Understood, children? If you take a flower, if it is a red flower or green flower or a blue or a pink flower, if you keep it in front of the torch, you will get only black shadow, okay. The color what's the color of the object, that we can't able to decide, okay, using the shadow. It will be dark in color, black in color, okay. It will be, the shadow will be black in color and size is greater than that object, okay. Understood, children?